That we went to the train station, and they will not let us in. And when they did let us in, they were like, "You have to give us money because this is not for free for you, because you are foreign. This is not free for you. You have to pay."
Hello everyone. Yesterday we ended up doing a change of topic because of some recent and horrible events that happened in Mariupol and just other examples of violations of of people's basic right to live and survive. Now we're getting back to the original video that we had planned for today. And that is there a difference in treatment to those persons trying to flee out of Ukraine who are not blue-eyed or blonde-haired or look Caucasian? There seems to be a very disturbing trend among many of the reporters and many of the people that are fleeing that there seems to be a double standard that's being alleged, and in some cases being proven and others implied. So what's ended up happening is that there's a large number of people who are of African, North African, Middle Eastern, and even Asian descent who've come to Ukraine to study, such as Chinese nationals, such as people from Libya or people from Nigeria, people from many different backgrounds who strive and earn a good living back in their home countries and needing education, possibly because they couldn't find it in their home country. And Ukraine is a very economical alternative than what, say, you could find in the United Kingdom. And again, cost of living, who knows why people choose where they go to study, but many ended up in the Ukraine to study. Then the war happened. And just like that, as of right now, at least 3 million plus Ukrainians or people from Ukraine have fled, and countries like Poland, Moldova, Romania, Hungary have been taking people in without really asking where they've come from or why they're there, but have been giving them shelter and doing their best to make sure that they get food and clothing. The problem is that there's been this subtle difference because many of the people who are fleeing from Ukraine are Caucasian and, generally speaking, look very European. And when I say European, I mean people who are either brown, blonde, generally very fair-skinned, and look a certain way. But if you're a Nigerian, if you're a Uzbek, if you're somebody from North Africa, or if you look more like you're somebody from, say, Iran, there seems to have been a very clear double standard. There's reports of people being denied entry. There are people that are being sidelined and forced to wait for much, much more considerable periods of time trying to get into countries like Hungary or Romania, whereas others who don't speak any of the local languages are completely baffled as to what to do, but because they look Chinese, because they look Asian or North African, there's also a certain stigma within a lot of the European theater because there seems to again be the reminder of that 2015 time when so many people were pushing out of Turkey, pushing out of North Africa into Italy, pushing out of around Morocco and Algeria into Spain. Many Europeans seem to be accused of having a double standard, and that people who are white are considered okay, while people who look black or brown or Asian, yellow, are getting treated differently and are viewed with suspicion. And examples of this include, there's been reporters who were talking about how, all these Ukrainians fleeing, they're middle-class people, they're good people, they are not like people from North Africa or Syria. We don't know their backgrounds, as one reporter was quoted as saying. This was heavily criticized, and the news station did apologize for the insensitive nature of the comments, but there's been other comments also from policymakers and policy leaders, government officials, who've, like such as Hungary, was quoted as saying that, these people are fine, they're as European as you or I. They're not from, and again, referencing to regions such as North Africa or the Middle East were also included in the statement. And these are kind of the comments that have been coming out of different leaders as well as being reported by media persons. But also, what about the real world treatment? And again, many refugees who have been able to flee, they're only temporarily in a process of fleeing until, like many Nigerians, have already been repatriated. Their government was able to arrange for transport back, or they were able to make sure that themselves could get out, because there's not really right now, there's no way of getting out of Ukraine by plane because, well, Russia would probably shoot the planes down, realistically speaking. But like anything else, this just goes to show that this is another dimension of how crises such as this war are being treated. And here at Danger by Degrees, we always try to talk about the science and the social impacts and the cultural impacts of disasters like this, of this war. And this is just another example of how the crisis is emerging and is being reflected in the way that people are treating each other. Either way, this is Danger by Degrees. Thank you for joining us. And tomorrow's episode, number 7, we're going to start talking about how social media has been playing a role in the helping of protecting and evacuations, and how social media is starting to become a force on its own that's helping to organize, not so much through the normal NGOs, but from people to people.